Hey, it's Tori, and welcome back to my channel. Today we have a very special guest here on the channel. As you can see, we have Micha. You may know her from her band Without Warning, or you may know her from, she has her very own reaction channel, which is Micha Reacts, or you may even know her from both. How are you doing today, Micha?
I'm doing really, really great. We've been just having a very busy day, rehearsing and stuff with the band, but I'm super, super happy to be here. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time out of I know you're extremely busy right now with everything going on because you are getting ready to release a brand new single with Without Warning on the 11th, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So next week, just a couple of days. So
Yeah.
we're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I've been keeping up with, you and the guys on social media, and I'm just like, I can't wait. I'm so excited. The two I've heard, the two previous singles that you released have been absolutely amazing. So,
We're
yeah.
so happy to hear that it's going to be a banger. You always forget that what we are doing isn't something you guys see, and it's just we forget that, and then we're so excited, and we can't wait for you to hear it and see all the hard work. And it's like we're kind of living in the future for you, and it's
Yeah.
going to be so cool and so different because we really put a lot of effort in this one. So you'll
Yeah.
see.
Well, I'm going to kickstart this chat. It's just going to be like a conversation between us. I don't really want it to be like a typical interview. So I'm going to
Yes.
kickstart this off with a really random icebreaker question. And that's going to be, if you could pick any like mythological creature like a dragon or a Pegasus
Mhm.
or anything like that to have as a pet, what would it be and why?
Well, actually, I have a really good answer for this because it's okay. Well, I would go with something like a dragon because when I was little, I used to dream about owning a raptor for some crazy reasons. I've always been into, dinosaurs
Hmm.
and just a bit scary creatures. So the closest to a mythological animal would then be a dragon, which was my second option as a child. So definitely something like that. I love dragons and,
Yeah.
dinosaurs.
Yeah, I dragons they're just so regal looking, and then you get the chance
Yes.
to like fly on them as well. It's
Yes.
crazy. Did you ever watch like Game of Thrones or House of Dragon or anything like that?
I did start Game of Thrones, but I
Hmm.
have to admit that after watching halfway through the second season, I kind of I didn't follow up. It had so many characters, so many things happening, so I didn't continue watching it. So I'm one of those rare ones who haven't seen it. So I kept myself more to Vikings, so I've
Oh
been
yeah.
binge watching that. So yeah.
See, yeah, that's where like I've watched all of Game of Thrones and I've watched all of House of Dragon, but I need to get myself back into Vikings. I think I dropped off on like season 3 or 4, but it was really great. I don't know why I dropped off. I'm probably just going to start all the way from the beginning because it's been a few years and I've probably forgotten a bunch of
Yes.
storylines. So yeah, I definitely want to get back into Vikings 100%. So
Yes.
that leads me to like my next question for you is, what kind of TV shows and movies are you into? Like like you just said Vikings, is that something that appeals to you more than say like the sci-fi genre or anything like that, or do you just like everything?
Well, I have my, like in movies, I love horror stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my favorite theme overall. But I'm not the biggest series person. Vikings was very appealing to me because I think they really kind of respected the Nordic culture. And, they have, if you know Einar from Vardruna, who has
Mm-hmm.
been making a lot of the music. Einar is actually one of the members from Gorgoroth originally. So, they have these Norwegian musicians and they have Nordic people playing in the show as well, acting. So
Mhm.
that's something that really catched my attention. But then I actually love Sex and the City.
Oh
It's one of
yeah,
those
yeah.
which I've been watching over and over. And my husband always says, he's like, how the hell can you keep on watching those? So I have my this side and then I have that and you know, TLC series and stuff, totally 90 Days Fiance. We
Yeah.
watch things like that as well. So
Yeah, yeah, I used to watch that too because I've kind of been in that similar situation with the 90
oh
Day
yeah.
Fiance kind of thing. Because, of course, I'm British and my husband's American, and we only had 90 days to get married. So,
Really?
yeah, yeah, but we didn't do it the way that you're supposed to do it. I probably shouldn't say this online, but yeah, I came over and I was visiting for 90 days, and then we just ended up like we got married. I didn't really have much responsibilities back home, so we ended up getting married. He had like the house here and the good job here, so it was easier for me to move here. And yeah, we had like 90 days to plan a wedding, so it was courthouse thing, and we're finally going on our honeymoon 10 years. Well, it'll be 11 years later
Oh,
this year, so
it's
yeah,
about time.
it is about time. I'm excited. And like somebody mentioned, I think you said during your live stream a couple months back, it was when I was visiting my sister because I was in Sweden and you're in Finland,
Yeah.
and you were like you wish you that I could have stepped over into Finland and we could have gone to grab some coffee or something. That would have
Yeah.
been amazing, like to meet you properly
Yes.
in person.
It would have been so nice and you came so
I
close. It
know.
was really cool from all the way from the other side of the world. So I was like, oh, she's almost here.
Yeah, I think maybe next time I do come visit my sister, we can try and plan something. And
Yes,
like,
it's not a long way from where I live. It's just on the coast of,
yeah.
the other side of Sweden. So I can actually get there with boat, a rowboat
Yeah,
on a
just
day.
get in your canoe and just like road
Yeah,
trip.
see you there.
So you mentioned horror movies are like one of your absolute favorites. Do you have like a
Yes.
horror icon that you like the best?
Well, I have, I think I love the uh, Insidious series. I think
Mm-hmm.
those were great. And then they had this spin-off from The Nun. I think that character is super creepy.
Yeah.
But then I have a very special bond with the original Exorcist,
Oh, yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
She's so freaking scary. It bugs me. I hope I never get sleep paralysis because, I would see the craziest things.
Yeah.
And it's kind of love-hate relationship with her because
Yeah,
she can
the
make me
the
cry,
little the little actress who played her was just crazy good. Just
you
in
know.
that insane talent to be able to do that at such
Yes.
a young age. Like,
Yeah. And the makeup and stuff. I just love special effects and everything that they do. It's funny that I don't even, cosplay. It would be a perfect hobby for me to just relive these horror fantasies and characters. So I should start doing that because
you
I love
should.
stuff.
You should, because I was gonna ask. That's another segue for me to ask. Like, does your area have like Comic Cons and things like that you can attend to meet these kinds of
Yes.
people? Yeah,
Very small ones, this is kind of the downside of living in Finland. Everything is very small.
yeah,
So I don't think the cosplay community is that big. I think a lot of people who cosplay, travel elsewhere to
yeah.
get the best parties.
Yeah, because I we have one here. It's not huge, but we do get some fairly well-known people.
Yeah.
And about I think 3 or 4 years ago, I first started cosplay, and it was just like this last year. I dressed as Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
Yes, it was so cute.
Thank you. And just the amount of like little girls like seeing their favorite princess and just running up,
Oh.
and their parents are like, "Can they get a photo with you?" And I'm like, "Of course,
Oh.
So,
That's
yeah.
so cool. And I when I saw this, what was the new Resident Evil? game when she had those 3 daughters. I would
Yes.
love to cosplay those. They were so cool. I was almost buying one of those dresses online on Amazon or something, but then
Yeah.
where am I going to use it? So
Well, I mean, you could do it as like for Halloween, or if you like had a
yes,
Halloween stream or something on your channel, or
that would work.
because
Definitely.
yeah, I did the generic vampire for mine this year, but because I've always had that fascination with vampires for some reason.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, I think like your no, I can't think what your traditional horror icons, like you've got your
Yes,
werewolves, your vampires, and all of that kind of stuff. I think my favorite are vampires.
definitely mine too.
Yeah,
Yes. Romantic vampires. It's just something about them.
yeah.
I love it.
It's just they have that, like you say, there's just that thing that's just that mysterious thing that's about them that
Yes.
it just really draws you in. And that's of course what they're about. They need you for a living, basically.
Yes.
So did you on Netflix there was a series. I know you said you're not really into like TV series, but there is a Dracula series on
Oh,
Netflix, and the actor in there, I think it only has like 3 or 4 episodes, if that. But it's the traditional Dracula, and the actor who plays Dracula, Clay Spang. Oh my goodness, he was
hate
phenomenal.
that.
So I would recommend, if of course, if you love Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula in particular, I would 100% recommend watching. It's
I
such a
have
great
to.
series. Yeah.
Thank you for recommending. I will be looking it up ASAP.
Yeah.
ASAP.
I hope it's still
Cool.
I hope it's still on Netflix. I think it only came out a couple of years ago, but I've been
Right.
meaning to rewatch it because it was just that good. But
Wow, that sounds great.
yeah. And
Oh,
you're also into your tattoos as well, like me.
yes, yes. I love it.
You just got a whole back piece done, right?
Oh, yes. And I actually just watched my tattooer's Instagram before we started, and she
Hmm.
was doing a second back piece. And somebody, I was like, I would not want to be in that position. It was crazy.
No.
I'm so humbled about that experience. I've always said I have a quite
Hi.
good pain tolerance. My throat didn't hurt at all. But when
Yeah.
she touched my back, I'm so humbled.
Yeah, I think because I have a lower back tattoo, and oh my goodness, like it took me 50. It was done when I was 18, and it was done really crap, like really badly. So
Yeah.
it took me 15 years to go and get it fixed just because of that pain. Like that's the only one where I've had to say to the tattoo artist maybe 30, 40 minutes before she finished that I need you to stop. I need you to put some numbing cream on this because I can't continue on
Yeah.
otherwise.
I mean, definitely. I had to do mine in 4 sessions, and the first one was the worst. We only managed to do the lines on
Hmm.
the one half, and I've never been so close to just losing my life because the pain. I was shaking, and she was like, "Just you can curse, you can scream, you can cry." I was like, "Mommy, I just couldn't get a word out." It was
Yeah.
super painful.
You kind of dissociate and like just go into
Yes.
a different world, and you're like, I can do it. I could do it. I could do and then
Yeah.
you're like then you
Yeah,
hit
no,
that
no, no, no,
brick
no.
wall, and then you're like, oh no, I can't. I need to stop. I can't do it anymore. But
Yes.
so are
Oof.
you heavily tattooed? Because I do see you've got your neck, and then I see your hands and
Yes, quite heavily. I've done a couple of myself, or
hmm.
actually a lot. I own a tattoo machine, which isn't recommendable due to this happening. But yeah, I mostly do tats on me, my husband, and just, my closest friends, maybe something small. So I definitely know where my limit is in talent of doing these.
Right.
But I just love tattoos. When I turned 30, I decided I was no longer going to let kind of society pressure me into thinking that having tattoos equals, not having a job. I work
Right.
in the advertisement field, so personality is definitely a very good thing. And I haven't, fortunately, been experiencing any discrimination due to my tattoos, so
Yeah.
I will continue on. But I do have, well, my back and my legs, so, and my hands, arms, so, but I would love to have more. More is more.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm just now starting like my really big projects. Like I just got some of my lower arm done, and
Yes.
it's like in the stages of being really peely, and you're just like itchy, and
Yeah.
and you're just like
Oh,
like no amount of moisturizer ever helps, and
no.
you're just like few days of this, and it'll be okay, and then it'll look really
Yes.
pretty. But
Yes, I hate the stage. It's
yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, there's you go through all the pain of getting it done, and then maybe the next 1 or 2 days, of course, the place wherever you got it done gets swollen. If you're anything
Yes.
like me, it bruises because we're both so pale. So
Yeah.
somebody just touches me, I bruise. So I'm pretty sure that's the same for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely felt, the needle depth last time. My back was hurting to the core of my,
Yeah.
just muscles and everything. And every time I took a shower and was sitting in a specific way and then it dried up and then I moved my back, it felt like the whole back cracked and
Mhm.
wounds opened and it was horrible. It's very itchy right now, so I'm
Yeah.
in the last stages of, recovering.
Yeah, and
So,
it's a good thing like you say you have is it your partner or husband or
husband, yeah.
husband? Yeah. So at least you've got somebody to help you with the keeping it
Yes.
moisturized, and because when you're alone and you've got tattoos in really awkward places, it's like how do I reach this to
Yes.
to sort it out? But
Definitely. I mean, I've come to him with a jar of moisturizer. And I was, can you please take care of my back? He's like,
yeah.
yeah, every night, same thing. Yeah, he helps out.
So you mentioned you're in advertising. Um,
Yes.
and that's just your everyday like 9 to 5 while you concentrate on of course the band right now is part-time until you start because to me you're criminally underrated. I know you're just starting out, but
Oh.
you deserve so many more views than you're getting, and subscriptions and all of that. So is the band something that you dream of doing 100% full-time?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would say that I do love my job. It's so creative and it's free. I work with or in a team with L'Oreal Paris,
Oh.
so that brand and all of its brand like Maybelline and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So we produce everything in the Nordics, um table displays in shops with makeup. So a lot of makeup stuff and but then I love using my creativity with the band, so I do everything visually for us, and it kind of fulfills me in the visual way and then the musical way. So I would definitely love to focus on that one. So I wish that happens someday and we get enough to, so we can leave our leave our jobs. That
Yeah.
sounds super. No, no, no. If
Yeah, no,
my
I don't think it does. Everybody's got like that goal or that dream that they want to achieve. And of course, music to you is like your biggest thing.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you really started getting like into music, and when did you start singing?
I've been singing for as long as I can remember. I know
Mm-hmm.
it's cliche, but
No.
ever since I was like 3 years old,
Yeah.
I remember coming home from school at first grade and I put on Celine Dion and
Mm-hmm.
sang, in front of the mirror or listened to Pandora and stuff. I was always singing and just performing to my stuffed
Mm-hmm.
animals.
Yeah.
And my dad is actually a guitarist, so kind of
Ah.
had that musical part from him. And it's just always been around, and overall working kind of with the media in a sense, music, videos. I've been filming, just parodies and stuff with my old camera when I was little. So I always loved to do stuff like this.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it feels so natural to be, doing YouTube now and then the music. And it's exactly what I love to do. Everything together.
Yeah. And also another thing I want to bring up is just when again you were in a live stream and you just thanked me, an old school nerd, and that you were your big inspiration to start, your reaction channel. And honestly, that really made my day, and it made me tear up, because to me, I'm getting close to, I think we're almost at 38,000, but to me, I still feel like a small channel. And I think if I start ever feeling like, oh, I'm this big channel, I'm going to lose my authenticity, And yeah, it really made my day that I, little old me, like inspired somebody like you, because of course you're a vocalist in a really amazing band, and it really warmed my heart. So I wanted to say thank you for that.
No, thank you. I remember your video was probably one of the first with Old School Nerd that we saw, and we were so just lost for words because it was such a big deal for us. And just as I said in, I think, my New Year's video, which got took down, but I said that it's so, for small bands, and I mean probably any band, but it means so much to get that genuine review and just to get seen. We can't be thankful enough for that. And every time we talk about you, for example, with my family, with my mom and dad, they always say, Tauri is such a sweetheart. Look at her newest video. Look what she did. And she talked about you in such a lovely way. I'm like, yeah, I know. She's such a bestie. We really appreciate you so much. It's no thank you is enough to describe that. And we remember that every single day, just like today when we talked about this. The guys were all, oh, that's so great. Tauri, she's the best. So we have your back.
You're going to inflate my ego, and my head's going to be like, no, I could never be that person. Today, because you're one of my first people that, like we talked about earlier, you're one of the first people I'm having on my channel that's actually a band member and an artist. And like I'm a very quiet, I'm not a shy person, I'm a very quiet person. And it takes a lot for me to do small talk with people. So this is really a big challenge for me to put myself out here and to do these, like, I'm not going to call it an interview, because I don't really feel like it's an interview. I just feel like it's two friends getting to know one another and chatting about, stuff they enjoy, and finding common ground with that. So yeah, I just want to thank you again for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. You're amazing. And I do have a couple more questions that I did pull up, because I'm not very good at like coming up with questions by myself. So I did do a tiny little bit of research beforehand. And like, when you're not working or when you're not with the band, like, what's your absolute favorite thing to do on a day off?
Definitely sitting at home. I'm the most introverted person there is, and that might not come across that clearly because, well, when I started YouTube, I was more shy, but then it kind of grew on me to just open up more. But still, I'm sitting at home alone talking to a camera, so nobody's watching me. But I'm super introverted, and I need my time alone, and I just sit on my computer, watch YouTube, internet shop clothes, or just watch TV. And I love just spending time with my husband, watching those horror movies, maybe playing some PlayStation. And, I'm a very chilled person. I'm not a party animal, so I rarely go out and, drink and stuff. We just put on the sauna, make some good food, and, chill out.
it kind of sounds like, the perfect day, honestly, because my husband and I are very much the same like that. We're very much
Nice.
homebodies. We like to be at home. We don't drink at all. I don't even think we have any alcohol in the house other than a collection that my husband has right here. He's a big Star Trek nerd, so some of
Nice.
his gaming community came together and bought him like a wine set, but that'll never get open
Cool.
because it's a collection. And yeah, so that's because I'm the same as you. I'm very introverted.
Yeah.
If you make, unfortunately, my husband's not here today, otherwise he would have come to say hello. But he is the talker in our relationship, so that's why we get on really well because I can sit back and I'm a listener. I like to listen to the conversation, and then
Yeah.
I will put my own thoughts on if I want to, or I can just sit back and listen. I'm very happy just to stay quiet. Whereas he could just talk to a literal lamppost about absolutely anything.
That sounds so familiar. I'm definitely, the quiet one. And then
Yeah.
when I'm kind of just zoned out, I just like stare at people. And he's the social one who makes friends all the time. And then he kind of has to force me, come and say hi. This is my wife. And I'm like, coming the little dark. So, but we've been together for almost 16 years, so it
Yeah.
definitely works. Kind of, the opposites.
Yeah. I think it's true when they say opposites attract because
Yes.
I think sometimes when people have too similar of a personalities, they're always clashing against each other
Yeah.
and like you say, my husband and I we have our alone time, but we have it together because he's a gamer too. And then so he'll sit on this couch and I'll sit on the other side of the couch and then we'll both be doing our own thing, but like couple of hours
So
before
cool.
yeah, a couple of hours before bed we'll come together and like spend that time together, that one-on-one
Yeah.
time together because I think you need to do that. Of course you need to have that
Yes.
quality time with your spouse. So is that
Yeah,
something you guys do as well?
definitely. He's my best friend, so
Yeah.
we spend a lot of time together. He's always the one I want to experience stuff with, and I'm so happy that he's in our band. He's the drummer.
Yeah.
So just today we were talking when we were walking home. I said I would never do this without you. We can experience the success of the band together. We can, because right now as we are very busy, it would be so sad to have that time taken off from being with each other.
Yeah.
So now we can have those moments and we come home together and we can talk about music, and just like the gig we will experience it together and filming the music video and stuff. So he's the one I want to do everything with. So that's so nice.
Yeah, and I think that's when it's when you can't see yourself without that person
Yes.
and you just want to do everything with them like cuz when I do go home back to England, because of the prices and stuff, I'm usually going by myself. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, I wish you were coming with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to wrap this up with what's the best piece of advice someone has given to you? It can be anybody, like throughout your life.
That's a good question. There might not be a particular one, but just, talking with my parents and loved ones just about trying, I mean, this is cliche as well, but just trying to enjoy life. And, it's not always easy. You kind of have to break it down to how to enjoy your life, not putting too much pressure on yourself. We have the social media, we have the digital world, which is a very, very nice and cool place, but then there is a dark side to it, all the pressure of living this perfect life and just all the time having goals to reach, and you have to do things, you have to be better, you have to be super at your work, just the, kind of living with that burden of having a perfect life. It's,
Mm-hmm.
You have to mentally just give yourself a permission to live the life in your way without pressure. You don't always have to be doing stuff and do stuff that makes you happy, just like my tattoos, for example.
Yeah.
I just had to let myself free and just to be my authentical self, it wasn't easy. And I think a lot of people who have seen me before might think, oh, what's happened to her? Has she become a poser or something,
Right.
But I just needed that mentality to let myself free. And as because of last year, for example, life is quite scary right now. It's a lot of things happening, and we just need to hold on to happiness and each other and, not take any day for granted. So that's kind of my motto, to just enjoy every single day. Every people's Don't fight, don't put time on negative thoughts. If somebody's talking shit, ignore them. You don't have to put energy on that stuff. Just be you, be happy if you can.
Yeah. I completely can get with you get behind you with that 100%, because we both know being in that public eye, it's hard sometimes, because
Yes,
you do get comments, and in the beginning it's hard not to take those to heart, and
yes,
you do have to learn to ignore it and just be like, okay, well, block. If you don't appreciate me, you don't have to be here. So I mean,
definitely.
that's how I handle it. I, of course, I get comments all the time, and it's frustrating, but it's also very rewarding doing what we do as well.
Yes, I remember when I got my first kind of a troll comment. I was so upset. I was just about to send you a message and ask, how do you deal when, trolls come,
Yeah.
or somebody who gets super, super upset because you not liking their favorite band? And I always try to emphasize the fact that these are just opinions, and we appreciate every musician either way. It's just the idea of reaction channels is to be, a bit critical, to emphasize your opinion, but still it doesn't take away from the respect that you have. So the first
Yeah.
time I got a bit upset because I was, don't be angry at me. I'm not trying to be mean, and you have to be so careful not to, disrespect anybody.
Hmm.
But now, when if it's clearly a troll, I ignore it. And if somebody has a very, good constructive criticism, I definitely take it. And I love discussing things with my followers. So, we
Yeah.
found common ground.
You absolutely reach out to me at any time. I'm always here for you, and you know it's especially when you're first starting out on your channel, because if you go back 2 years to like my very first ones, I'm very like shy. I'm very like camera shy because I don't know how to act on camera,
It's
and
hard.
it's extremely hard, and it took me a long time to get comfortable. Even
Yeah.
with my live streams, it took me a long time to build up that courage to live stream, because
Yeah.
you're with reactions. Yes, they are first time genuine reactions, but you can still, like, if you didn't like your intro, you can still film that over, or or
Yes.
your outro. You can, or if you stumble on your words, you can, you have your video editing. Of course, that reaction will never be touched. It's always going to be genuine and first
Yes.
time, but it's hard when you're live and you're in front of an audience and they send you something. And because I always try and remain positive on my channel, I know you do too, but when they send you something and it's just really not your thing, it's hard to then put like a positive spin on it. And I'm sure you're the same in that as well.
Yeah, definitely. And because I'm very surprised that in a few cases the band has seen my reaction, and then of course I want to be as, constructive, and as said, emphasize it's only my opinion. And
Hmm.
then when I had a band that I reacted to, and then the vocalist was like, thank you so much for your reaction. I'm so sad you didn't like the song. I was like, oh no. I want to hear more, but it, it was a tricky situation. He was very, very nice, and I mean, super, super nice and so cool that he reached out. But I felt so bad because it wasn't quite to my taste,
Yeah.
the song. But
But like you
this,
say,
so,
that's what reaction channels are. They are our own personal opinions. And
yes,
it doesn't matter if we don't like it, if the person who requested it likes it, or, of course the band has that following. If they love that kind of music,
Yes,
don't let one person's opinion sway how you feel about them. And that goes for
definitely.
everything in life. So
Yeah, and just to share those bands with the audience. For example, I try to incorporate as much Finnish metal as I can, just to even if it's not to my liking, there might always be somebody in my
mhm.
followers who likes. So it's like just co-sharing stuff, which is super super cool. And the reaction community is so supportive. It has to be one of the most positive communities there is on YouTube. The followers are so nice. I mean, they
Yeah.
make my day.
Oh
They're
yeah,
so nice.
you get comments and you're like, "Oh my goodness, you're such a sweetheart." Like, what did I do
Yeah.
to deserve like this huge community that, that we built around us? And
Yeah.
it blows my mind every single day that we get to do this, and we get to
Yeah.
discover new music this way. And I I know you and I, we won't ever take that for granted, especially for you, because you are in a band and you do, of course, have people reacting to your music.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you get so nervous when you find somebody new that you don't know what they're going to say, or you don't know how they're going to be. And I just, that pressure, I don't know if I could deal with that.
But definitely, but it's super interesting as well because from a band perspective, it's really good to get that feedback because you, the audience, are the ones who are kind of the bread providers for
Hmm.
us. So we kind of need to see what works for you and what not. Of course, keeping in mind that we produce stuff for ourselves through our preferences. But still, at the end of the day, if the audience doesn't like what we do, we're fucked. If,
Yeah.
if I can say
No,
that,
yeah,
but we're
yeah,
kind of screwed
you're
up.
good. Yeah, no, you're good. But yeah,
So
because yeah, I understand that it's good to have constructive criticism. It's
definitely.
it's just when they step over that line, and then it becomes just criticism. Is when it just, like, what's the point? What's the point in being
Yeah.
mean or nasty about something? Like, it's not going to help that band. It's not going to help whoever you're talking about. And
No.
so, I always really try my best to bring positivity. And I will be honest, there have been bands where I have started a song and I'm just like, nope, nope, this is not for me. So I don't put
Me
it out
too.
on my channel.
Me too. I've had those a few times and then just realized that since I'm not going to have anything kind of good to say, I never say anything in a disrespecting way, but just I don't want to publish a video where I just say it's not to my taste. It's going to be a boring video and it's not
Yeah,
doing a favor to the band as well, so I
right.
do that the same thing.
Yeah, because I learned my lesson with, there was one song and one band, and I really didn't like it. And I wasn't nasty with what I said,
Yeah.
but the feedback I got on that was just like, oh, okay, lesson learned. Try and keep this a positive place, and don't,
Yeah.
because it's like you say, it's not fair on, because of course bands are coming to watch people's reactions because they want to know what people have thought.
Yeah.
They've worked really hard on this music, and of course they're going to get one or two that are not going to like it, but for the
Mm.
most part, I know a lot of people in the reaction community do try and keep their channels positive too, which I like to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it's not an easy choice because uh, it kind of slightly goes against the idea of reacting, but it doesn't just feel logical to publish something which isn't going to help anybody. It's not worth it. So in those cases, I just put on the next and
Yeah.
it it's the downside, but I think in those cases you win more by just then leaving that.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think We have, of course, we do have a lot of similar tastes in our bands that we like as well. So,
Yes.
whenever you do a reaction and I've seen it, I will come over and I will watch it. Sometimes, of course, I don't usually have time to leave a comment, but just do know that I do watch.
The
And
same.
yeah, I really enjoy your channel. I enjoy who you are
Oh,
as a person. I wish we were closer because it would just be nice to hang out and like really get to know you. And because
yes.
I think we would really click. And
I think so too.
yeah.
Definitely. And it's so, one of the things when you said that came to my mind, which is also so cool, is that this, world connects people from all around the world. And it's such a crazy idea to be talking to people from, the other side of the earth. And it's so crazy, but it's so interesting to, even if I'm such an introverted person, I still have a huge interest towards just different cultures,
Yeah.
talking to different people and hearing about their lives and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
super, super cool.
Yeah, that's why I was excited for today, just because it, I just wanted to get to know who you were, you as a person. And I thought it would be fun to do that with, this conversation that we're having, and then have that up on the channel so that people, uh, my subscribers, your band subscribers, can get to know Micha for who Micha is, and not just who Micha is vocalist, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So cool. I think it's a great idea. I hope you continue with these because I remember when you threw the question out there that should I be doing some kind of interview chit chats with people, I was like screaming at my phone, like, yes, do it, do it. It was such a great idea.
Yeah.
Continue on it.
Well, thank you. Because I just didn't want to go into these conversations and be like the stereotypical interview, because you get the same questions over and over. And of course, your music is the important thing, don't get me wrong, but it's also important for people to know who you are as well.
Yeah.
So, that's what I want to do with this, and that hopefully that's how it continues to go on. But I just want to, say thank you so very much for joining me today, for
Yeah.
taking the time out. And guys, please head on over to Micha's channel. She does reactions also. And then her band, Without Warning, are releasing a brand new single next week. I am so very excited for that. I I know how hard you guys have been working, and of course your social medias and your YouTube links I will post down in the description. But do you have any like last words for people?
I just want to wish everybody a happy new year and let's just take it day by day. Enjoy, all the nice small things that life has to offer, like reaction channels and
Mhm.
YouTube and music and stuff. And, no pressure. We have each other, and that's the best thing about it. So,
Yeah, I 100% completely agree with you there. It's nice to be able to take that standpoint and to be able to wake up each day and just be grateful and thankful for what you have, and to take that day and take it one by one. And you never know what's going to come, and you never know what's going to happen with your life. But
yes.
you also do have to put that effort in if you want to get anywhere with it, which.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you so much, Micha, for joining me today. It's been
Thank you for
an
having me.
absolute pleasure.
It
And
has.
we are going to plan on getting her back on the channel to do a joint reaction in the future. So keep your eye out for that. And again, please head on over to both, her channel and her band's channel, and give them a big subscribe. Follow them all on social media. I will, of course, post that in the description. But also, don't forget to like and subscribe to become a Taurian. Speaking of becoming a Taurian, all of my social media links are down in the description, along with my Discord link. If you'd like to come join, we'd absolutely love to have you come hang out in the Discord. And I will see you guys in the next video. And you can, of course, go and see Micha over on her channel. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Rock on.